Hey everybody, welcome back into the Telestration booth. I'm Kevin Sully here to break down another race on this edition. We'll do the women's 800 from the Sunset Tour featuring Kate Grace, Shelby Houlihan, Sinclaire Johnson, and much more. So let's take a look at the race, and I'll break it down with the help of my trusty Telestration pen. Let's get it rolling here as we get going. And you see a shot there of the field, and this race really was spearheaded by Shelby Houlihan's attempt to break 2 minutes in the 800. Of all the accomplishments Shelby Houlihan's had across a variety of distances, she's never broken 2 minutes in the 800, wanted to be part of that Sub-2, Sub-4, Sub-15 club. Get a look at the field. There is Shelby on the inside, and being on the inside is key to what she did in this race because she holds this rail really well throughout, something to keep an eye on. Just to her outside, Sinclaire Johnson pulled the upset at the NCAA 1500 meter championships, beat Jessica Hull, ran 4:05.98. We'll see if she can keep her hot streak going. See the rabbit out here. Here's Sabrina Sutherland. Kate Grace, Olympic finalist in the 800 in Rio, now more of a 1500 meter runner, but she has run under 2 minutes 8 different times, has a 1:58 PR. Sammy Watson, Kayla Edwards also back there as well. Keep an eye here on the early stages on Shelby Houlihan and how she just latches on to the pacer. She said she was worried afterwards. She said she was worried about getting pushed to the back, but actually it ended up being Kate Grace, her Bowerman Track Club teammate, who early on was in the back. Shelby in perfect position. And I think she gets used to this position, even though this is a different distance, but the fact that she runs Diamond League 1500s, hasn't run a bunch this year. In fact, her race at Pre was her first race outdoors. She knocked it out of the park. But in previous years, she's used to running quick paces and rabbited racing. I think this came in big help here. So she's behind the rabbit early on. You see Grace there, Johnson there on the inside. But right now, 28.5-ish for the first 200, but too bunched. I think the rabbit need to get out just a little bit quicker to alleviate some of this crowding going on here, as you can see by my beautiful artwork there. But it didn't faze Houlihan. She stayed patient and stayed on the rail. Same thing with Sinclaire Johnson. It's almost like Sinclaire Johnson was thinking, just stick with Shelby and I'm going to run a fast time, which is not a bad strategy at all. You see Grace back there a little farther back. But this really made the difference. The fact that Houlihan was willing to go with the rabbit, because I think if she was back there, where Grace was, and Grace ultimately is going to make up that distance, but I think if Houlihan was back there early on, she would have had a tougher time making that push late, because this isn't a 1500, and for her, I think it was more trying to kind of hit an even split, if you will, and just latch onto a pace and get into a rhythm, because she's used to the longer stuff at this point in her career. Her 800 PR, Shelby's 800 PR, she's never run even in the 2:00s. Everything is in the 2:01. She's run 2:01 4 times, and her PR is from 2014. So this would break a personal best that's about 5 years old. Before we keep it rolling here, look at the form here. I mean, great form by the runnership. But I mean, look at the angles here on this photographer. Great job here. Very LA outfit as well too. I think he fits his scene very appropriately. I mean, the arms. I mean, if you had to take a picture of a photographer, this would be it. Almost looks like a stock photo there. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So we're going to go through 400 here. 58.6 is going to be the actual official split here for Shelby. So maybe they would have liked it a little quicker just because you see the bunching. Sabrina Sutherland is on the outside. And watch here. I want you to keep an eye on this. The rabbit stays in a little too long. I think she should have stepped off there because now Shelby has to go wide. And you don't want people in the field to have to go wide if you're a rabbit. So I think the rabbit could have stepped off a little bit earlier, but all things being equal, especially based on some of the Diamond League rabbiting we've seen this year, 58.6 through 400 and even paced, you'll take it. So now Shelby is at the front. She's driving this train, and Sinclaire Johnson sticking around. This is what she did to Jessica Hull in Austin. Remember that? And then last 100, she burst away. But right now, Houlihan, Johnson, and Grace now has moved up into third. And Grace, like I said, she's gone under 2 minutes 8 different times in her career. She's got that 1:58 PR, running with a lot of confidence here. She ran well at Prefontaine Classic. We're not going to see her in the 1500 in the 800, at USA's. We'll see her in the 1500, but you can tell she has experience with this distance. And these three now start to separate. It's a 3-woman race here. There's some movement in the back. You see Sammy Watson, hip 9, trying to get involved. But it really is these three, and now you can see that gap. Again, has Houlihan taken one step off the rail? I don't think she has. You see this gap here between third and fourth. She really hasn't. She stayed in there. And same thing with Sinclaire Johnson. Grace has had to do a little bit of extra running, but she's going to make that null and void. As we hit 200 meters to go, about 129, they said, at 600. So it's on, right? A sub-2 is still in play. Those three running really strong here. Shelby really going to the arms here with 100 to go. But now we see Grace go wide. Again, these two women have not left this lane. It would have been interesting to see a tracker on Grace. She ran a well-planned strategic race, but it's just the 800. You know, you can't forecast, you can't predict every single little thing that's going to happen. And she did well to kind of deal with the pace and the race the way it was. So she goes wide here to try to get past Houlihan. Again, 158, 201. Well, what's Sinclaire Johnson's PR? 204. 204 for Sinclaire, just to let's get an idea of the different PRs here. 145 is on the clock. So she just has to stay upright, and Sinclaire Johnson is going to get a huge personal best. Houlihan still doesn't leave one. Kate Grace storming down the home stretch. She's got a strong kick. We know that. You've seen her do it in the 800 and 1500 for several years now. And right now she is going past Houlihan at this point, but 154 on the clock. Shelby can still do it. She can still get that sub-2, but she can't fall apart. She's got to try to stay as best she can with Grace to her outside. Johnson hanging tough there in third. Grace is going to get the win, and it is very close there for that 2-minute barrier. We'll see the time. Oh, it popped up there for a second. A little bit of drama here. We'll wait to get the official time. And it is a 1:59.92. So by 0.08 seconds, Shelby Houlihan joins that club. The sub-2, sub-4, sub-15 club there. Grace, just a second off her personal best. Got to be happy with that effort for Shelby. Again, remember, this is only her second race of the outdoor season. Comes in, breaks 4 in the 1500 at Pre, and then goes and breaks 2. She has to be brimming with confidence heading into USA's. And look at Sinclaire Johnson. Like I said, her personal best 2:04. Well, now it's 2 flat. That is good work by her. Skips 2:03, 2:02, 2:01, goes all the way down to 2 flat. So her personal bests now are 2 flat and 4:05.98. Now she said after NCAA's that she was going to call it a season. She was not going to run USA's. She's changed her mind. She's going to run USA's in that 1500, which is incredibly deep. It's going to be a tough team to make, but don't count out Sinclaire Johnson. I think she's going to be right there. Again, she's very sharp, and she's on an incredible hot streak right now. So women's 800, just like the men's 800, gives us a lot to think about heading into USA's. Kate Grace gets the win. Shelby Houlihan breaks 2 for the first time, and Sinclaire Johnson cuts 4 seconds off her personal best. To watch all the races from the Sunset Tour, check out the coverage page on the website. We also have interviews there as well. It's going to be an exciting couple weeks heading into USA's. We'll talk to you guys soon.